All right. Looks like we're there. Okay. Hello. Greetings. This is Our Real Truth with Beatzilla PDX official. And this is here on Anchor FM. You can find the show on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and actually WordPress as well now. So that is now available. I'm still setting that up. But right now you can go subscribe to iTunes if you would like, and it'll notify you. You could set it to automatically download if you want to. Spotify, I think, also does the same thing. So you can go to those two platforms, subscribe, and get your podcasts downloaded straight to your device when they are uploaded. And of course, you can follow me at Instagram, BeatZillaPDX. You can follow me at Twitter, BeatZillaPDX. And you can follow me at Facebook, BeatZillaPDX. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel, which is Beatzilla PDX Official. And that's at YouTube. And of course, if you need to contact me, you can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. Well, so with that out the way, I guess we get right into the topic of today, which, of course, we've seen a lot going on. Right now, we got the Derek Chauvin trial going on. Well, not really trial, the jury selection is beginning. And it's interesting just to hear some people's takes. Interesting people out there. Reminds me of where I'm from, kind of. Had one person up there, I guess he had identified as Hispanic, but was very much against Black Lives Matter and was pro Blue Lives Matter. Which is kind of interesting because Blue Lives Matter also being the same group that stormed the United States Capitol January 6, 2021. So to still have the sentiment that those guys were patriots who did that, that's the people who they're pulling for this jury to get justice for George Floyd. Well, we shall see how that one goes. And again, this is Our Real Truth with Beatzilla PDX Official, right here at Anchor FM. So, today's title, are we seeing royal white supremacy? The war to keep the white supremacist male on top. Basically protecting the image of moral superiority, like with this whole situation with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the Oprah Winfrey interview. And it even seems how our media here is trying to make a distinctive difference between them over here, our media, and then the tabloid media over there in England. Which there really is not much of a difference. They're pretty much the same. They both are used as tools of propaganda and definitely have been used as tools as anti-Black propaganda. So they are no different. They're pretty much one and the same. They get their information from the palace, as we've seen some things say. And people here get their information from the government. They get their marching orders from the government, so they can't say, it's just like any other country. They give you the illusion of freedom of speech, but they can't get on TV and speak how they want to speak. That ain't gonna happen. So, with Prince Harry, he was saying how, he felt trapped, and he had long felt trapped, even before he got with Meghan Markle. which is interesting because she made a statement about how she wanted to go out and party with her friends and wasn't allowed to do so. Um, I guess for image sake or whatever, as they said. And it was interesting because I was like, well, that's a trip because Prince Harry, was gallivanting all around the United States and the rest of the world for that matter, living his best life, having parties, hobnobbing with celebs and all types of stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting once that she is married, um, being an American wasn't even really allowed to hang with her American friends. And I'd have to assume that, the crowd that she's hanging around would be what you would call ideally the safe crowd. So I don't know, what the big deal is there. Um, so, that being said, this is another angle I was looking at. Because, he couldn't extend the same privileges to her to even go out with her friends and get that protection. Just to say, no, my wife is do this. It seems to me that her being at such a high position in a country, albeit marrying in, she's still yet in a high position. You would need to protect that position, whether you like that person or not. I mean, I think any politician in America would at least get afforded that much. You don't even have to like the person, him or her. That person is going to get some security. They're going to get Secret Service detail. The government's going to be watching their back. They're just not going to be hanging out there. So this type of situation where they're making it seem like they were losing the security of the monarchy. That's kind of interesting because although he may be leaving his royal duties, it didn't change his royal blood. President leaves the White House, he still has Secret Service detail. As far as I know, I believe even governors do. Um, and again, in this interview that they did, um, you see tidbits here and there. The one thing that they do is they lightly kind of soft shoe around the issue of racism, which in this case, we should be calling this what this is. This is white supremacy. It's not just racism. Um, because it's founded in white supremacy. The whole beef with Meghan Markle and them not liking her is steeping in the same reason why black people, foundational black Americans in America are treated the same way. And then considering how she has way more of a tie to America than, England, you add that into the mix. People over there really, you have never really seen a black person in a prominent position over there, not in my lifetime. So now you see a person marrying into the family. I think it was a joke for the system for a lot of people over there, and they're letting it be known. Now, with that being said, they let a lot of anti-black racist stuff and behavior going all the time. If you call out racism over there in the media, then that's when you'll have trouble. But even with that being said, Harry, being in America in an American interview with Oprah Winfrey, he didn't blatantly out anyone in his family, which of course I didn't expect him to anyway. That's not how this works. But just mention that the racism was visible. How and he was kind of acting a little naive, which to me, missed me with that. You're not that naive. And even understanding the circumstances with his own mother, like by no means are you foreign to your family's, I guess, hankering for keeping things white at all costs. You know. So, when his wife was facing all of this racism, his answer ultimately was to cut and run. So that's why they're in the United States. Now, when they did that, Tyler Perry was the one who stepped up and offered security, because in this interview, it also reveals that the royal family or whatever had told them that they were not going to provide them with security. So you sent some royal blood out there unprotected. So he had to come to America to get help from a black man, which is really interesting. Now, a lot of people, when the wedding first happened or when the engagement first happened, they were looking like, okay, well, this is a come up. This is a come up for Meghan Markle. It's the royal wedding, the Prince Charming, knight in shining armor, all of that. Thank God they set me Sadie. Now, here's the flip side of that coin. What if Prince Harry actually wanted out? Because from what is coming across in this interview, it sounded like he was trying to look for an out long before Meghan Markle came along. And understanding his family's history with white supremacy and slavery even. Like to act like you're foreign to this now. Your own family built its wealth and funded the slave trade in America. So to act like, oh, okay, we didn't know where these jewels came from. Miss me with that. But knowing how his family is, would it not be a good time to say, this is my out, by using his marriage to Meghan Markle to go ahead and get out of Dodge? That's just a theory. Just a thought. I mean, you got to think these things have to be done. You're dealing with regal politics, so you're not just gonna do what the average person does. It takes planning, maneuvering, manipulating. You got to do a lot of things to get from under that type of pressure and thumb and survive it. It's politics, and it's, like I said, it's regal politics. That's a whole different ball game. Being in America, most people aren't used to that type of situation. We just know people are royalty, and that's about the end of it. But they have an image to protect, and they will kill to maintain it. Now, as it stands, for me, I don't really have any sympathy for Meghan Markle, because she sought to always separate herself from blackness, as many people have definitely done. She was not the first to do it. So, she got her chance to take her run at imitation of life. I mean, and again, look at the situation and circumstance. Her mother was looking for an agenda so she could get to Archie. So that was an agenda in that family. Let's keep it real. To make sure that we bred out the color. Some people would say a second generation bedwench. I don't know. But as the interview goes on, it goes to show that Prince Harry got played to the left by the Queen and his father, Prince Charles. He said Prince Charles wasn't even answering his phone calls. The Queen actually, they were supposed to go to I guess spend some time with her, and as soon as they left, got a call talking about, well, y'all can't come. She's going to be busy, and she's going to be busy all week. So they were doing them like that. Now, in the meantime, they put out another story that I guess there was supposedly rumor of an argument that happened between Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle, saying that Meghan Markle made Kate Middleton cry. Well, as it came out in that interview on from Meghan Markle's side of things, it was the other way around. I'm inclined to believe that. Because one thing about it is, one thing they were not going to do, because remember, I'm talking about image. And they're protecting and preserving a certain image. So that's where the other part of the interview comes in at, where they're talking about how dark the kid might be when he's born. And remember that she's pregnant again, and she had a miscarriage in between this pregnancy and Archie. When that happened, when she had her miscarriage, I was like, okay, well, they could be stressing her to death to like purposely force her body into miscarrying, which as she started explaining things on how she was feeling, it sounded exactly like that scenario. These people were breaking her down mentally because, you're dealing with, let's just keep it real. We are dealing with people who deal with certain other elements in life. So they understand fully how to get a person off their game. They have think tanks to do that. This isn't the first person who has felt trapped in a situation to where the rest of the world looks at it like success. However, we got to understand you choosing to do that. So, is it messed up? Yes. Can I sympathize? My sympathy stops at the point of choice because, it's messed up, definitely. But that's what you wanted. Now, you didn't want everything that came with it because you wanted it your way. But even still, Meghan Markle, this is her second marriage, marrying a royal prince. She won as far as the world was concerned. Now, when you're seeing the reality of what she won, it's not all it cracked up to be. That's what they say. The grass ain't always greener on the other side of town. Yeah, sometimes that is the case. So with that being said, no. You shouldn't have to feel any kind of way. Again, anything that she has to experience, this is a married woman we're talking about. That is her husband's job, not the job of the community to which she chose not to integrate with. Even if she is from it and of it, that was not her political decision. So with that being said, she has to rely on her husband to do that. Now, he can step up to the plate. And I wouldn't expect him to call anybody out because at the end of the day, let's keep it 1,000. He is also keeping his door open. So he's not going to burn that bridge. That would be foolish of him to do. But I can only imagine the stuff that she heard while she was sitting in there, all the things she had to endure because they could just say it to her and there is going to be no consequence. So I'm sure that woman has heard all types of racist mess. And even in the, they were being very careful on how they were answering things because there were things that she wanted to answer and respond to, but she would catch herself and then look over at him. And on some things, he would respond. Now, what's really interesting, though, is how, I guess, from what I can really witness, like especially from reactions on Twitter, it seems like a lot of people thought that with Meghan Markle being a quote black woman going into the royal family, that meant black westernized feminism was going to somehow alter that space. Well, unfortunately, that clearly wasn't the case. And of course, I think anybody understands it's I guess, a novel idea in some spaces for some. But when you go into a monarchy or you're going into a system, one person isn't changing that. And that's a situation that's been established, and it's, again, steeped in white supremacy. So you definitely aren't changing it for one person who is marrying somebody that will probably never be king. So it's a bad play in the long run. But still, you still get to, they're caking up out of this, so it's not all bad. You know, they're still actually turning another buck over here. So let's come on, man. And also boosting the profile while promoting a podcast. So, no, the hustle still continues. Uh, the hustle continues through all the tears and boo-hoos. So, yeah, you better believe what you're seeing is still about that business. Now, what's interesting is you have the Mammy Twitter. This revelation from Mammy Twitter has really shook them up. So I don't think they really know how to feel, because it's always about, blame the black man, black men need to do better. And let me say that on a side note, a lot of these profiles that you see saying that madness, they're not really black people. They're white folks. They're white folks because they're always going to the same talking point. So there's an agenda with the racist bots to go ahead and try to start posing as black folks again. But now the narrative is, hey, let's all look to work together, and we got to look for unity, and we got to be the bigger person, and black men just got to do better. We got to do better by black women. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's the case, a good healthy start would be reparations. That would help families rebuild, because that means that with reparations, people wouldn't rely on the government. The government relied on black folks to build this. So the equity built in that, or made and accumulated in that, hey, that's what the American dream is built off of. So don't ever kid yourself like it's not a debt that's owed. But anyway, back to Mammy Twitter. All the plantation bedwench dreamers like Sherry Shepherd and Monique Presley, of all people, saying some of these weird things. Monique Presley, she made a tweet about how Meghan Markle speaking about her situation. Somehow she was shoehorning black men in as the blame. And it was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. You know what? Let me pull that up too. Because, black men aren't anywhere around this situation at all. We have nothing to do with this. So to even try to invoke, and that's my thing. When we start invoking black men's name when we're not even in the position. So this is what her tweet read yesterday. Some of the worst, most ignorant, and disrespectful takes on Meghan sharing her story are coming from straight black men. It's sad, really. Oh, Lord. Don't nobody care what that woman going through? Because that is her husband's job. So to say it's coming from straight black men, no, so you're wrong. Her number one and sole line of defense is her husband. Where is the black man in that? Why she marry a man that wouldn't defend her? We're not asking that question. And now you want the strength of us? Well, she married one of us. But that's where you want him to be. Use that. I mean, it's not like they divorced or nothing. So, he could step up to the plate. He's right there. He could say more. He could do more. He could fight for more. He could be more vocal if he chooses to. He hasn't chosen to. That's not on black men. That is not on black men. So to say, hey, we're not going to fight when he ain't fighting, you can't blame anybody for that. Stop it. But these are tactics of the system to, of course, shift blame back to black men. Because, of course, like you saw what was trying to happen last month, you keep seeing these monkey wrenches thrown in the game plan. So every time you could throw black men under the bus for so-called doing something that we actually are not doing, like indiscriminately just seeking out Asians to attack them, that hasn't happened. And then when they tried doing that, what ended up happening is more videos of white people attacking Asians have started popping up. So, but you've already asked for justice about these attacks. So now who are you going to prosecute? You're going to go prosecute these white folks jumping on these Asians? Because it actually was not black folks. What black folks are looking for right now is reparations. There is no reparations in targeting another group for violence. What does that have to do with us? So I would look, if there's a black person that is looking to target an Asian, that's a black person that's probably not due reparations, meaning that they may have black skin, but they are not from our community as foundational black Americans. That might be a little hard to understand, I don't know. But we also had Tarana Burke come out. And what did she do? She was going to go ahead and, hop back out there with the new hashtag attached to the old hashtag to come back out here and bash black men some more, as her white handlers have always had her do. So, unfortunately, the Governor Cuomo situation popped up, and so did the situation with the football player that almost killed his black girlfriend. These situations popped up in the midst of that, which again nullified her so-called concern for black women and talking about all of these ills in our community, when it couldn't be pointed at, when the finger couldn't be pointed at black men. So, she has to pick and choose her spots, which there aren't many right now, because right now white men are on the hot seat. And everything you are seeing right now is to take them off of it. So you got to understand the game. This is about protecting the image of white superiority. It's been about that for a minute now. And just how they're playing this whole story, it's even, it's just showing itself for what it is. But what we are seeing is royal white supremacy in full effect, in my view. But I asked a question to you. Are we seeing royal white supremacy? And I have a little more, so I'm going to take a quick break, and then I will be right back. right, and I am back. So, like I was saying again, you had Tarana Burke come out there, and then she really shows that she is selective about when she decides to care, and that is the main issue with people like that. So it really shows that she doesn't give a crap about nothing other than furthering the agenda that is being put forth in front of her. So, with that being said, now back to Prince Harry, not really standing up for his wife. And, also the Queen not really stepping up and saying anything either. So for me, I just get the vibe that, or ask the question, how much of this energy is not based off of her, Queen Elizabeth? Um, you know, is she more like her namesake than one would know? Who knows? Because she could have stepped in and said something. And I think as the matriarch of that family and the Queen of England, you step in and try to mend the fences with your family. But hey, that's just us over here in America, I guess. Well, shoot, not even that. But they have no history of showing Black Americans love at all. And like I said before, if you talk about race over there, they only talk about race in the media over there to be racist or to further an anti-Black agenda. If you start pointing out white supremacy, see, they'll lightly talk about racism. If you say white supremacy, then it's like, whoa, can't do that. And I mean, when you talking about what you're facing, you got to address it, or you're not addressing anything. But again, it's all about image. And that blow to the system is major. So they got so many chinks in the armor right now. You got Derek Chauvin going on, his trials going on. You have Cuomo in New York. There's so much other stuff going on. Even with this interview with Prince Harry, and it's been said that it's been speculated that Oprah Winfrey has a ankle monitor on due to some of those Jeffrey Epstein issues. Now, I can't verify if that's true or not. I'm just saying that's what's been said. However, in the picture, you can see a silhouette of something under her boot, which definitely would resemble a ankle monitor. So, there is that. So you have to look at history, just to see what it actually looks like. And with that being said, like I said, is Queen Elizabeth close to her namesake? Who knows? This article is from Jamaica Observer. This is an article from 2018, March 25th, 2018, by Shalman Scott. So I'll just read a few little excerpts from this just to let you know what's going on. So this is basically talking about the British monarchy's involvement in slavery. So there's a little excerpt here that says, "It is bad enough for the Church of England, which are called Anglicans, to have played an abominable role in the African slave trade, including bishops who owned slaves, but worse when Queen Elizabeth I turned out to be one of that sponsored pirate John Hawkins." So all of these people that owned slaves, as it all turned out, the person who was funding that good ship, Jesus, because they talk about 1519 or 1619. But this is the 1500. The first slave ship that came to America was called Good Ship Jesus. And one of the partners of that ship was Queen Elizabeth I. Like I said, we're talking about this same family. It's a whole family tree. So Elizabeth I partnered with John Hawkins by renting him for use as a slave ship, the huge old 700-ton Navy ship Jesus of Lubeck, being in a town of Germany where the ship was made. And a song, "We Will Wait Till Jesus Come to Carry Our Loved Ones Home," referred to Hawkins' slave ship. The original meaning of that song to the slaves was literally going back home to Africa. As they were sold by Hawkins, he promised them he would have returned to collect the slaves. They believed him, hence they put music to their expectations of going back home. Many sacred English hymns had verses and lines which also resonated with our ancestors' dream of returning to their homeland. Listen closely to the Negro spirituals, songs used by our people both as diversions for the masters who may be listening, while subtly consolidating and galvanizing defiance to the slave system. Still away home to glory. I don't have long to stay here. The slaves subliminally understood here to mean on this plantation. I am always fascinated by our ancestors' sophistication and sense of humor, even in their oppression and dehumanization, always playing the fool to catch the wise and the powerful. But it has been a truism that Tom drunk but Tom no fool. It goes on to read. Pirate John Hawkins was not the first Englishman to trade in slaves, but he was the first to run a triangular trade from Africa to the Americas and back to England, making a profit from every stop. For over 150 years, the British royal family not only owned but monopolized the slave trade. The story is told when Queen Elizabeth I heard that England was slaving in trades, or was trading in slaves. She cried. Then she shown the products: sugar, salt, cocoa, coffee, gold, pearls, etc., being brought to England, and immediately became a partner in the trade. The so-called Elizabethan period was financed with money from slavery and the slave trade. Well, I think that's enough. I will put the link to this article in the description, so you can go read this for yourself. But just letting you know what's going on. That is who Meghan Markle chose to go be with. So with that being said, who do you want, or what kind of sympathy do you want? Because it's the equivalent of trying to marry into a family that you knew was a very prominent slave-holding family. What would make you want to be there? That family is rooted in white supremacy. So their relationship with Black Americans is what? Slavery? Benefiting off of it? Now, that even brings a lot more to say about the reparations conversation. I mean, it's a deep conversation just dealing with those people in America. That was a cold way. They was going from Africa, America, and England. Had a triangular situation going on. So you do understand what that means. That means there were people in Africa actively participating in the slave trade. They weren't just stopping in Africa, just rounding up random people. Didn't happen like that. So, remember when you start hearing people talk about the vision and, you guys, we're all black in the diaspora and all of that. Where was that then? Where was that then? See, these things happen. Not everybody is ignorant to history. So I just wanted to make sure that I actually read a piece of that article for those who may not know, and I will give that information out to you so you can read it for yourself. There are more articles and books on this as well. And so again, like the whole 1619 thing, it's like, well, that doesn't even coincide with actual history that is available. So, I'll say this. You can't look to be in and out. It's like, like the Bible says, you got to be either hot or cold. Lukewarm, we spit you out the mouth. And that's kind of what the situation is right now for Meghan Markle, as far as I'm concerned. And again, like I said, she's a married woman. So that's that family situation. It ain't got nothing to do with us. Because we don't have any stake in England's affairs. Over here is foundational Black Americans. Now, what they probably do need to do is kick in some revenue as well, especially that family. But people didn't know that part, did they? Oh, man. So it just even makes what Sherry Shepherd said look so much worse. Because basically what she's saying is, all little Black girls out here need to do is just dream that one day they can marry one of the slave master's children. Oh, Lord. I mean, hey, man, the tweet's out there. Lord. And like I said, that is a bedwench dreamer. You know what I'm saying? That's just simply what that is. That is a bedwench dreamer. Now, again, we got to look at this for what it is. It is royal white supremacy, and it's English racism. Straight, foundational Black American have nothing to do with that. We can have an opinion, but our opinion won't hurt, harm, stop anybody's finance. It may not make you feel good, but it ain't killing you, and it ain't hurting you. And you don't respect the opinion of the people who's given it enough to care. So it can't be that much damaging for you. Because let's be real, you don't respect the people that you're talking about. So don't tell me now the people that you don't have any respect for have so much power over you for what they say could be so hurtful and harmful. That makes no sense. And let's just keep it real. That's game. So, this is one of those times where we have to tell you to hold your nuts. Because this ain't got nothing to do with us. This is not our affair. And we're going to mind our Black business on over here. Now, for those who want to step on in and, hey, more power to you. And I will say this. Meghan Markle needs to be very glad that people are even messing with her like that. Because it's not like she was ever really messing with us tough like that. And then all of a sudden now she's trying to, I'm a Black man, I'm a Black girl, and people need to protect Black women. Get your ass a Black husband. You over there, sis. You're not over here. So, if you can only fight for who is around you. You can't fight for the people who are not in your community. That makes no sense. Now, if we were talking politics, that's different. I mean, we see all of our so-called Black leaders in our American politics that they're doing such a smash bang-up job right now, aren't they? Yes, let's clap it up for them. Let's give them a cheer because they have done so much in the last 50 years that who knows? All the actual people who really worried the government, they made sure they put them down. But these guys have been able to go loose for 50 years. I'll say, Fred Hampton was 21 when they got him out the paint. So they know who to worry about and who not to. But like I said, hey man, if you guys love these guys, more power to you. Not my cup of tea. I need to see more than we still need to talk about something in 2021 for a country that has made every last power move based off of the root of white supremacy and slavery. And with that being said, this has been Our Real Truth with Beatzilla PDX Official. I am Beatzilla PDX, and you can follow me at Instagram, Beatzilla PDX, at Twitter, Beatzilla PDX, and at Facebook at Beatzilla PDX. You can also follow me. Please go like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel, which is Beatzilla PDX Official. And you can also email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And of course, this podcast, Our Real Truth with Beatzilla PDX Official, can be found at Anchor FM, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, WordPress, and more. So with that being said, if you feel so inclined, you can shoot a donation to Cash App, $Beatzilla PDX. That's Cash App at $Beatzilla PDX. So I think, again, you can go subscribe when you like this channel on your either Spotify or on your iTunes. You can also set this to automatically download. So if you want to just get downloads of the show so you don't have to worry about checking if I got one up, if a new one has been put up, you can just go ahead and set it to just automatically download to your device, and we'll be rocking and rolling, and you could listen to this at your leisure. So with that being said, y'all, Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. And I am gone, y'all. Peace and shalom.